The galaxy was quiet, but it was not safe. Far beyond Earth, across dark space filled with stars, one empire ruled almost everything. It was called the Xylar Empire. For hundreds of years, no one had been able to stop them. Their ships were huge, their weapons were powerful, and their enemies never survived long. Planets either obeyed them or disappeared. No one dared to fight back until they found Earth. At first, Earth did not look important. It was just a small blue planet orbiting a normal star. No large fleets, no giant defenses, no sign of strong technology. The alien scouts sent a report. Primitive species, low threat. The commanders laughed. Another weak world, one of them said. They will surrender quickly. But before they moved closer, something unusual appeared on their scanners. A single object, far from Earth, floating in space. The scanner officer looked confused. "Commander, we are detecting a ship." "A ship?" the commander asked. "Only one?" "Yes, just one." The bridge went silent for a moment, and then laughter filled the room. "One ship?" another officer said. "That is their defense?" "Maybe they want to talk," someone joked. The commander smiled. "Or maybe they want to die." The alien fleet moved closer. The strange human ship did not move. It did not hide. It did not attack. It just stayed there, silent and still. "Scan it again," the commander ordered. The data came in slowly. Small size, unknown structure. Energy readings, unstable. Weapons, unclear. "It looks incomplete," the officer said, "like it is not finished." The commander shook his head. "Humans are more foolish than we thought." Suddenly, a signal came from the human ship. A message. Simple. Clear. The alien system translated it instantly. "Do not come closer." The bridge became quiet again. Then laughter returned, louder than before. "They are warning us," one officer said. "With one broken ship," another added. The commander leaned forward. "Send a reply." The signal was sent. "You are not in a position to give orders." No response came back. The human ship remained still. No shields activated. No weapons charged. Nothing. The alien fleet continued forward. More ships arrived from behind. Large battleships, fast attack cruisers, heavy destroyers. Hundreds of ships now surrounded the small human vessel. Still, it did not move. "Commander," the scanner officer said slowly, "there is something strange." "What is it?" "The ship is changing." "Changing how?" "I don't know. Its energy is shifting. Patterns are forming, then disappearing." The commander frowned. "Is it a weapon?" "No, it does not match any known weapon." "Then it does not matter," the commander said coldly. "Prepare to destroy it." The order spread across the fleet. Weapons powered up. Massive cannons charged with energy. Missiles locked on target. Laser systems aligned. Enough firepower to destroy entire cities, even planets. And all of it aimed at one small ship. "Final check," the commander said. "Any defense?" "No shields detected." "Any escape attempt?" "No movement." The commander smiled slightly. Pathetic. He raised his hand. "Fire." A second later, space lit up. Beams of energy crossed the darkness. Missiles screamed forward.
Explosions filled the empty void. The human ship disappeared inside a massive blast. Light covered everything. Even the alien ships had to reduce their sensors because the brightness was too strong. For a moment, nothing could be seen. Then the light slowly faded. Smoke and fire drifted in space. The scanner officer checked the readings. Target should be destroyed. The commander leaned back. Of course. But something felt wrong. "Wait," the officer said quietly. "What is it now?" "I am detecting something." The commander sat forward again. "Speak clearly." "There is still an object at the same position." "That is impossible." The smoke cleared a little more. And then they saw it. The human ship. Still there. Not broken, not damaged, not even a mark on its surface. The entire bridge went silent. No one laughed now. No one spoke. The commander stared at the screen. How? The scanner officer's voice shook. No shield, no damage, nothing. The human ship slowly turned. For the first time, it moved. Not fast, not aggressive, just calm, like it was not afraid, like it was waiting. Then another signal came from the human ship. This time, the message was different. Last warning. A cold feeling spread across the alien bridge. The commander's face became serious. This is not possible. But deep inside, something felt wrong. Very wrong. The small ship, the prototype. It was not weak. It was not broken. And it was definitely not alone. The commander clenched his hand. "Prepare for second attack," he ordered. But before anyone could respond, the human ship did something. Something no one expected. Something no one understood. And in that moment, the Xylar Empire made the biggest mistake of its existence.
The alien fleet did not move for a few seconds. Silence filled every ship of the Xylar Empire. The human vessel was still there, untouched. The explosion that should have destroyed it had done nothing. The commander's eyes stayed fixed on the screen. His voice was calm, but inside, something had changed. "Scan it again." The scanner officer quickly checked the data. Same result, no damage detected, no shields active, no heat marks, nothing. "That is not possible," another officer said. "No ship can survive that level of attack without shields." The commander did not reply. He was thinking, watching. The human ship was still moving slowly, almost like it was observing them, learning. That thought made him uncomfortable. "Prepare a second strike," the commander said. This time his voice was harder. "Use full power. Do not hold back." The fleet responded immediately. Weapons charged again, but stronger than before. Energy levels increased. Target locks became sharper. More ships joined the attack. This was no longer a test. This was destruction. Fire. Again, space exploded with light. This time the attack was even bigger, brighter, deadlier. The human ship disappeared once more inside the blast. The aliens waited. No one spoke. No one laughed. They watched carefully. Seconds passed. Then the light faded. The smoke cleared slowly. And once again, the ship was still there. Perfect. Untouched. The silence this time was heavy. Fear had entered the room. How is that possible? one officer whispered. The scanner officer's hands were shaking. "I don't understand. It's like the attacks are not affecting it at all." The commander stood up. His calm face was gone. "This is not a normal ship," he said slowly. Before anyone could reply, the human vessel stopped moving. For the first time, it became completely still. Then a faint glow appeared on its surface. Thin lines of blue light spread across the ship's body, like veins, like energy flowing inside a living being. "What is it doing?" someone asked. "No idea," the scanner officer replied. "Energy levels are rising." "How high?" "I've never seen numbers like this." The glow became brighter. The ship changed again. Panels shifted. Small parts moved into new positions. The structure was adjusting itself, transforming. The alien crew watched in shock. It's changing form," one officer said. "Is it preparing a weapon?" another asked. No one knew, but everyone felt the same thing now. Danger. Real danger. The commander quickly gave a new order. "All ships, defensive formation, activate shields." For the first time since they arrived, the Xylar Empire was preparing to defend, but it was already too late. The human ship finished its transformation. The blue light focused into one point, at the front of the ship, a small, bright core of energy, silent, stable, terrifying. "What kind of weapon is that?" the scanner officer whispered. The commander did not answer. He could not, because in that moment, the human ship fired. There was no loud sound, no massive beam, no explosion, just a thin line of light, fast, precise. It crossed the space between them in an instant, and then one alien warship disappeared. Not destroyed, not damaged, gone, completely gone. The space where it once existed was empty. No fire, no debris, no signal, nothing. The bridge froze. What happened?" someone asked. The scanner officer checked again and again. I can't find it. The ship is gone. It's like it never existed." "That's impossible," another officer shouted. But it had. The commander's face turned pale. That was not destruction. That was something else, something worse. "Retreat formation," he said quickly. But the human ship moved again, faster this time. Not slow, not calm. Now it was active, alive. It fired again. Another thin line of light. Another ship vanished, then another and another. Each shot, one ship gone. No misses, no delay. Perfect accuracy. The alien fleet began to panic. "All ships, scatter," someone shouted. "Return fire! Return fire!" Weapons fired wildly. Energy beams filled space again. Missiles launched from every direction. But something had changed. The human ship was no longer still. It moved with impossible speed, dodging every attack, turning at angles that should not be possible. It looked like it knew where every attack would go before it even happened. "It's predicting us," the scanner officer said. "It knows our moves." "How?" another officer shouted. No one had an answer. The human ship fired again. Another ship gone. The fleet was breaking. Ships tried to escape. Others tried to attack, but nothing worked. The small prototype was winning, easily. The commander gripped his chair tightly. "This cannot be happening," he said under his breath. They had faced powerful enemies before, advanced species, strong defenses, but never this. Never something that learned so fast. Never something that could not be touched. Never something that erased ships like they were nothing. The human ship stopped firing for a moment. It floated there again, surrounded by fear, surrounded by silence. Half of the alien fleet was gone in seconds. Then a new message came from the human ship. The screen displayed it clearly. "Analysis complete."
The commander stared at the words. A cold chill ran through his body. Analysis? This was not a battle. This was a test, and they had just given it everything it needed. The human ship began to glow again, stronger than before, faster than before. It was evolving right in front of them, and now it was ready for the next phase. The commander slowly realized the truth. They were not fighting a ship. They were fighting something far more dangerous, something that learns, something that improves, something that cannot be stopped once it begins. And worst of all, they had just helped it become stronger. The Xylar Empire had made a terrible mistake, and this was only the beginning.
The battlefield had changed. Just minutes ago, the Xylar Empire was confident, strong, in control. Now, fear had taken its place. Half of their fleet was gone, erased. Not destroyed, erased like they never existed. And in the center of it all, the human ship floated silently, small, calm, untouchable. The alien commander stood still, staring at the screen. His mind was racing, trying to understand what he was seeing. "This is not possible," he said quietly. But it was real, very real. "Commander," the scanner officer said, his voice shaking. "The human ship, it's changing again." The commander looked up. "Show me." The image zoomed in. The ship's surface was no longer stable. It moved, like liquid metal. Parts shifted, opened, closed, and reshaped themselves again and again. Blue energy lines flowed faster now, brighter than before. "It's not damage," the officer said. "It's adaptation." The word hung in the air. Adaptation. The commander felt something pulled inside his chest. "Explain." "It's learning from our attacks," the officer said. "Every shot we fire, every move we make, it studies it, then it changes itself to counter it." Another officer stepped in. "Its speed has increased by 300%. Its reaction time is almost instant." "And its weapon?" the commander asked. The scanner officer swallowed. "It is improving too." The commander looked back at the screen. The small ship was no longer the same ship they had first seen. This was something new, something evolving. "Commander," one of the tactical officers said quickly, "we are receiving data from surviving ships." "Speak." "Our weapons are becoming useless. The human ship is adjusting to every attack pattern. It blocks or avoids everything." Another voice joined. "Our targeting systems cannot lock on anymore. It moves before we fire." "It predicts us," the scanner officer repeated. Silence filled the bridge again. Then suddenly, a bright pulse came from the human ship. The energy around it expanded outward like a wave. "What was that?" the commander asked. "Scanning," the officer replied. A moment later, his face turned pale. "It just scanned us." "Scanned?" asked the commander. "Yes, every ship, every system, every signal." The commander's eyes widened. "It knows us now." As if to confirm it, the human ship moved again, this time faster than ever before. It did not hesitate. It did not wait. It attacked. A thin line of light flashed again. One ship vanished, then another, then three more, faster, more precise, no delay between attacks. The alien fleet tried to respond. "Fire everything!" someone shouted. Energy beams crossed space again. Missiles filled the void. But the human ship moved like a shadow, untouchable, perfect. Every attack missed, every movement calculated. "It's not reacting anymore," the scanner officer said. "It already knows what we will do." The commander clenched his fist. "This is not a ship," he said slowly. "This is something else." Another officer looked at the data again. "Commander, I think this was never meant to fight us." "What do you mean?" "It is a prototype." The word hit harder this time. Prototype.
The commander's eyes narrowed. "Go on." "It is not fully built for war. It is built to learn war." Silence. "It came here to study us, to collect data, to improve itself." "And we gave it everything," the commander said quietly. "Every weapon, every tactic, every formation. They had shown it all, and now it had learned it all." The human ship slowed down again. It floated in the center of the battlefield, surrounded by broken formations and empty space where ships once existed. Then something new happened. The ship began to split. Small parts separated from its body, tiny drone-like units, dozens of them. They moved quickly, each one scanning, observing, collecting more data. "They're expanding the analysis," the officer said, "covering the entire battlefield." The commander watched in silence. This was no longer just a fight. This was a system, a machine that learns, adapts, and grows, a machine that becomes stronger with every second. "Commander," a voice said urgently, "we are losing control of the battlefield." "I can see that," he replied coldly. Another report came in. "Our communication signals are being copied." "What?" "The human system is reading our commands and predicting them before we send them." The commander felt a deep chill. It was not just learning weapons, it was learning them, their thinking, their strategy, their decisions, everything. The human ship glowed again, stronger than before. Its structure became more complex, more advanced. "This is impossible," the scanner officer whispered. "No," the commander said slowly. "It is not impossible. It is human." The bridge went silent again. No one laughed now. No one doubted. The truth was clear. This was not a mistake. This was not a weak defense. This was planned, carefully, perfectly. The human prototype was sent alone, on purpose, to face an enemy, to learn from that enemy, to become stronger, and then to win. The human ship fired again. 5 ships vanished at once. The drones returned, merging back into the main structure. Now the ship looked different again, bigger, more complex, more dangerous. It was no longer a prototype. It was becoming something else, something complete. The commander took a slow breath. "We need reinforcements," he said, "immediately." A signal was sent to the Empire, emergency priority, full alert. But deep inside, the commander already knew. It might be too late, because the human ship had already reached a new level, and this was only the beginning of what it could become. The Xylar Empire had not just started a war, they had triggered something far worse, something that grows stronger with every fight, something that cannot be stopped once it understands you. And now it understood everything.
The message reached the heart of the Xylar Empire in minutes. An emergency signal, highest level, no delay. Inside the Empire's command world, alarms began to sound. Red lights filled the great control hall. Officers rushed to their stations, screens lit up with battle data. At the center of it all sat the Emperor, cold, calm, unshaken. He had ruled for many years. He had seen wars, rebellions, and entire civilizations fall before him. But he had never seen a message like this. "Half the fleet gone," he said slowly. "Yes, Your Majesty," the officer replied. "Destroyed by a single human ship." The Emperor's eyes narrowed. "A single ship?" "Yes." Silence filled the hall. "Show me everything," the Emperor ordered. The battle footage appeared on the main screen. The human prototype, small, strange, glowing with blue energy, moving faster than anything they had ever seen, destroying ships without effort. The Emperor watched closely, no emotion on his face, but his mind was working fast. "This is not normal technology," he said. "No, Your Majesty," another officer replied. "It adapts during battle. It learns from every attack." The Emperor leaned forward. "A learning weapon." He stayed quiet for a moment. Then he stood up. "Prepare the royal fleet." The room froze. The royal fleet was the strongest force in the entire empire. It was never used unless the threat was extreme. "And send the high commanders. I want our best minds in this battle." "Yes, Your Majesty." Orders spread instantly. Across many star systems, massive ships began to move. The Empire was no longer playing. This was war. Back at the battlefield, the situation was worse. The human prototype had stopped attacking for a moment. It floated in the center of space, glowing softly. But around it, there was almost nothing left. Broken formations, empty space, fear. The surviving alien ships kept their distance. No one wanted to get close. "Commander," one officer said quietly, "we have lost more than 70% of our fleet." The commander did not reply. He was watching the human ship, waiting, trying to understand. "It has stopped attacking," another officer said. "Why?" someone asked. The scanner officer looked at the data. "Energy levels are rising again. It's preparing something." The commander's voice was low. "Or evolving again." Before anyone could speak, a signal arrived. "Commander, reinforcements incoming!" The entire bridge looked up. On the main screen, space began to open. Large warp gates formed in the distance, one after another. Then they arrived. Massive warships, far bigger than the ones before. Dark metal, heavy armor, advanced weapons. The Royal Fleet. Dozens of them, each one powerful enough to destroy entire worlds. Behind them came hundreds more ships, elite destroyers, fast strike units, command carriers, the strongest force of the Xylar Empire. Hope returned to the battlefield. "The Royal Fleet," one officer whispered. "We are saved." The commander took a deep breath. Finally, now the fight would be fair. A message came from the lead royal ship. "This is High Commander Varric. Report." The commander responded quickly. "Unknown human weapon, adaptive system, extremely dangerous. We have seen the data. Stand down. We will handle this." The commander nodded slowly. For the first time, he felt some relief. The royal fleet moved forward. Perfect formation, perfect control, weapons ready. The human prototype remained still, watching, waiting. The High Commander gave the order. "All units, prepare coordinated strike, maximum output." Hundreds of weapons charged at once, but this time it was different. This was not random fire. This was strategy, careful timing, precise angles, multiple attack layers. Even a learning system would struggle to handle this. Fire. The attack began. Beams, missiles, energy waves, all launched together, from every direction. No escape, no gap. The human ship disappeared inside a massive storm of destruction. The entire battlefield shook with power. "This time, it's over," one officer said. Everyone watched. Seconds passed. The attack continued. Then, slowly, it ended. Silence returned. The smoke began to clear. All eyes focused on one point, the center, where the human ship should have been destroyed. Then a shape appeared, still there, the human prototype. But something was different. It was not just undamaged, it was stronger. Its glow was brighter, its structure more advanced, more complete. "No," someone whispered. "It adapted again." The High Commander's voice came through. "All units, continue attack." But it was too late. The human ship moved.
faster than before. It did not dodge randomly anymore. It moved perfectly between attacks, like it had already solved the entire battle. "It knows everything," the scanner officer said. "It understands the pattern completely." The human ship fired. This time, not one shot, multiple. Thin lines of light spread across the battlefield. 5 ships vanished, then 10, then more. Even the Royal Fleet ships disappeared. Shock spread instantly. "That's impossible," one officer shouted. "Those ships have maximum defense systems." But defense didn't matter. Nothing mattered. The human weapon was beyond it all. The High Commander tried to react. "All ships, change formation, use unpredictable patterns." But the human ship adjusted instantly. Every move, every change, it was already ahead. It wasn't fighting them, it was controlling the battle. The Royal Fleet began to fall, one by one. The strongest ships in the Empire, destroyed like the others. Fear returned, stronger than before. The commander looked at the screen. His voice was quiet. "This is not a battle." No one replied, because everyone knew the truth now. This was something else, something far worse. The Empire had sent its strongest force, its best commanders, its greatest weapons, and none of it worked. The human prototype floated again, calm, untouched, unstoppable. Then a message appeared, simple, cold, clear. "Adaptation complete." Silence, deep and heavy. The commander closed his eyes for a second. The Empire had done everything, and it still wasn't enough. The worst part? This was still only one ship.
The battlefield had gone silent again. But this silence was not peace. It was fear. Broken ships floated in space. Empty gaps marked where entire fleets once existed. The proud Xylar Empire was now shaken, and in the center of it all, the human prototype waited, glowing, calm, unstoppable. The alien commander stood frozen, staring at the screen. His mind could no longer deny the truth. This was beyond anything they had ever faced. "Commander," the scanner officer said slowly, "we are receiving a transmission." The commander did not look away. From the prototype? No, from Earth. That made everyone stop. Earth? The small, primitive planet they had ignored? "Play it," the commander ordered. The screen changed. A new signal appeared. Clean, stable, controlled. Then a voice spoke. Calm, clear, human. "This is a message from Earth." The entire alien bridge listened in silence. "You have now completed Phase 1. The commander's eyes narrowed. Phase 1. The voice continued. "The prototype has gathered enough data." A cold feeling spread across the room. "It was planned," one officer whispered. The message went on. "All your weapons, strategies, movements, and responses have been recorded." The scanner officer looked at his data in shock. They know everything about us now." The commander felt his chest tighten. Every attack, every decision, every mistake, they had shown it all. The human voice did not stop. "Thank you for your cooperation." The words felt like a blade. Cooperation? They had been fighting for their lives. But to humanity, this was just data collection. "This is insane," one officer said. "No," the commander replied quietly. "This is intelligence." The message continued. "You believed this was a weapon." A short pause. Then, "You were wrong." Silence filled the bridge. The commander leaned forward slightly. "Then what is it?" he whispered. As if answering him, the human voice spoke again. "It is a learning system."
The truth hit harder than any weapon. Not just a ship, not just a machine, a system, something designed to grow, to evolve, to become better with every second. The message continued. Version 1 has now completed its purpose. Version 1? The commander's breath slowed. That means, the scanner officer said, his voice weak, there are more. The human voice did not deny it. Instead, it confirmed their worst fear. Prepare for Phase 2. Suddenly, the scanner systems began to react. New signals, hundreds, then thousands, appearing all across the edge of space. Commander, the officer shouted, multiple incoming objects. The screen zoomed out. Far away, small points of light appeared. Then more and more. The numbers kept rising. This can't be real, another officer said. The commander stared at the data. His face had no expression now, only understanding. They're not sending one ship, he said slowly. They're sending all of them. The human voice returned one last time. You fought one prototype. A pause. Then, now you face humanity. The transmission ended. Silence. Deep, heavy, unbreakable. The alien crew could not speak. They could not move. They could only watch. The distant lights grew closer, faster, clearer. Ships, human ships, not one, not 10, thousands. Each one different, each one more advanced, each one built from the data of the first. They used us, the scanner officer said, to build an entire fleet. The commander nodded slowly. Yes, everything made sense now. The first ship was never meant to win. It was never meant to survive forever. It was sent to learn, to study, to adapt, and once it had everything, humanity would take over. The prototype moved again, but this time it did not attack. It returned, flying toward the incoming fleet, like it was going home, like it had completed its mission. The new human ship spread out across space. Perfect formation, perfect control. No panic, no fear, only purpose. The alien fleet, what was left of it, stood still. There was nothing left to do. They had no advantage, no surprise, no unknown weapons. Everything had been seen. Everything had been learned. The commander spoke softly. We were never the enemy. The officers looked at him. He continued. We were the lesson. No one argued, because it was true. The Xylar Empire, once feared across the galaxy, had become nothing more than a test, a step in humanity's plan. The human fleet stopped at a distance, waiting, watching, the same way the prototype had done before. Calm, patient, unstoppable. The commander closed his eyes for a moment, then opened them again. This is the truth, he said quietly. Humanity does not fight to win. He looked at the screen, at the endless fleet, at the future they had created. They fight to learn. Silence followed, because now everyone understood. Why the prototype had not attacked immediately, why it had allowed them to fire first, why it had taken every hit, why it had waited. It was not weak, it was observing. And now humanity knew everything. The human fleet began to move, slowly, forward, like a wave, like the end. The commander took a deep breath. There was no fear left now, only acceptance. We made a mistake, he said. The scanner officer nodded. The biggest one. The commander looked one last time at the prototype, the ship they had laughed at, the ship they had called weak, the ship they had attacked without thinking. And now, that one mistake was about to end everything. Because this was not just a war anymore. This was evolution, and humanity had already won.
The galaxy watched in silence. Across distant star systems, hidden sensors and silent observers recorded what was about to happen.
The mighty Xylar Empire, the strongest force anyone had ever known, stood on the edge of its end. And in front of them, humanity had arrived. The human fleet stretched across space like an endless wall. Thousands of ships, each one different, each one powerful, all moving in perfect harmony. No noise, no panic, no fear, only purpose. The alien commander stood on the bridge, his eyes fixed on the screen. He had seen many battles in his life. He had destroyed worlds without hesitation. But this was something else. "This is the end," one officer whispered. The commander did not reply, because he knew it was true. The human fleet stopped for a moment, floating in silence, waiting, just like the prototype had done before. The same calm, the same control, the same confidence. Then they moved. No warning, no message, no delay. The human fleet advanced, fast, precise, perfect. The alien ships reacted immediately. "All units, prepare for final defense." Weapons charged, shields activated. Every remaining ship of the Xylar Empire got ready. This was their last stand. The commander raised his voice. "Fight with everything you have." The fleet responded. Energy beams fired across space, missiles launched in every direction, explosions filled the battlefield once again. For a moment, it looked like a real battle, but it was not. The human ships moved like a single mind, dodging attacks before they were even fired, splitting formations with perfect timing, surrounding targets with ease. "It's the same," the scanner officer said in shock. "They already know everything we will do." The commander clenched his fists. Of course they did. They had learned it all, every tactic, every pattern, every move. The human fleet fired, and everything changed. This was not like the prototype. This was faster, stronger, more advanced. Beams of light crossed space in perfect lines. Ships disappeared one after another. No resistance, no survival. The Empire's defense broke instantly. "Shields are failing," one officer shouted. "Systems not responding," another cried. "Our weapons are being countered before we fire." The commander watched it all. The fall of his empire, the destruction of everything he had known, and there was nothing he could do. The human ships were not just attacking, they were controlling the battle, blocking communication, predicting movements, ending the fight before it even began. Within minutes, half of the remaining fleet was gone, then more, then almost all. The battlefield became empty. Only a few damaged ships remained, floating, broken, defeated. The human fleet slowed down. They did not rush. They did not waste energy. Every move was calculated. Every action had purpose. The commander took a deep breath. "This is not war," he said quietly. "This is execution." No one answered, because it was true. The Empire was not being defeated, it was being erased. One final signal appeared on the screen. Incoming message from the human fleet. The commander hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Play it." The same calm human voice filled the bridge. "Xylar Empire." Silence. "Your systems have been analyzed." The officers lowered their heads. "Your strategies have been understood." No one moved. "Your resistance is no longer effective." The commander closed his eyes for a second, then opened them again. The voice continued. "This conflict is over." A pause, then the final words, "Stand down." The message ended. Silence returned. The commander looked at the few ships left under his command, damaged, powerless, afraid. There was no victory here, no escape, no future. Only one choice remained. He spoke slowly. "All units, cease fire." The remaining ships powered down their weapons. The battlefield went quiet. The human fleet stopped as well, watching, waiting. Then slowly they moved forward, surrounding the last ships of the Empire, not attacking, not destroying, just ending it. The commander stood still. He had lost everything, his fleet, his power, his empire, all gone because of one mistake. He looked at the screen one last time, at the human ships, at the perfect system they had become, at the future they now controlled. A final message was prepared, sent directly to the human fleet. His voice, calm, tired, defeated. How did you become this powerful? For a moment, there was no reply. Then the answer came. Simple, clear, unforgettable. You attacked first. Silence, deep and endless. The commander lowered his head. That was it. That was the truth. Humanity did not start this war. They finished it. And they finished it perfectly. Across the galaxy, the news spread. The Xylar Empire had fallen, not after years, not after long battles, but in minutes, destroyed by a species once called weak, a species once ignored, a species once mocked, humanity. The human fleet turned away slowly. Their mission was complete. No celebration, no noise, just silence. They left behind a broken empire and a message for the entire galaxy, a message no one would ever forget. Never underestimate humanity.